Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Still here with Vescayet. And hopefully we are soon done. Regarding the Master Gegeruchu's party before he finally tells us how we get to Titan. Bravo, Wield. Thanks to you, our guests shall be honored with a marvelous banquet. But what good is an exotic feast without an equally exquisite aperitif? Luckily, I know just the person to ask. Make your way to Wineport and seek out Shamani Lomani, another former member of the company. All you have to do is give him this order slip. He'll take care of the rest. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is merely a ploy to test your patience, I assure you I do actually need that wine. And while you're there, give Shamani Lomani my regards. It is good that I got the Wineport Aetheryte last episode. That means I don't have to travel on foot. Sweet grime and blood? Ah, you reek of blood. An adventurer, unless I'm mistaken. What brings you to Wineport? This order. An order, let me guess. A request for the finest vintage I can muster? The paper smells of loam and perfume. Costa Del Sol. And there's also the unmistakable odor of goblin cheese. Yes, Master Gegeruchu would not settle for anything less than the best. Durstwhite and his crew must be quite busy preparing an exotic feast, hence the decision to rely on an adventurer. But perhaps you're confused. This display of seduction was not intended to impress you. When one loses his vision, he is forced to compensate in other ways. But you have no interest in my affairs, you only wish to discuss the wine, I suspect. What do I wear? Okay, fine by me. Life can be so delightfully unpredictable. I always had a passion for wine, but it wasn't until I was forced to retire that I could pursue it as more than a mere hobby. It wouldn't have been possible if not for the savings I amassed during my time as a mercenary, of course. Say what you will about the nature of that work, none can deny that it pays well. But you grow impatient, and Vescayet must have his wine. Herein lies the problem. Nothing in my possession is of sufficient quality for this occasion. The best vintages in town are hoarded by Bergland, who owns and operates the largest winery in Wilbrand. Somehow I doubt he will be receptive to a request, but given the circumstances, we must needs beg his assistance. What rank amateur bottles is wine? The impurities have rendered it nigh undrinkable. Dismissal is too good for this. The man responsible, he should be made to drink every drop of his polluted swill. What is it? I'm in the middle of an important discussion. I do not care for interruptions. That neophyte vintner bid you speak with me. Neither you nor your friend has the palate to appreciate the subtle qualities of my private stock. I would sooner serve you gobby ruin than sell you my worst vintage. Be gone from my sight. I take it he said no? Really? In both words? Well, I cannot say I'm surprised. While there's no denying his passion and skill, the wine baron of Limsa Lominsa is not a man known for his tact. Very well, we shall have to take an alternate approach. There's a chance, however small, that another resident of Wineport can furnish us with a suitable wine. In fact, had you come several years ago, I guarantee this would not be a problem. Alas, the quality of our product has declined significantly in recent years. The only breeds cultivated these days are common lowland vines, which isn't to say that grapes are of poor quality, only that we have known better. Long ago, the vignerons of Wineport crossbred several species and produced a grape-bearing wine of never-before-seen quality. Bacchus grapes were once the pride of his town. as they were used to produce vintages which surpassed all others. This includes the most aromatic, the most complex, the most flavorful of all wines. Aye, the legendary Bacchus wines were born right here in Wineport. Pardon my enthusiasm. You see, I once had the privilege of sampling that particular wine. It was an otherworldly experience. In that moment, I felt as though I had tasted the nectar of the gods themselves. I transcended my mortal flesh and was one with all creation. But, as is all too often said, the calamity changed that. The Bacchus vineyards were completely destroyed, along with much of the existing stock of Bacchus wine. What little remains is closely guarded by its owners, for it can no longer be made. If we cannot convince Bayerglen to part with his wines, our next best options, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone with a bottle of Bacchus and to offer them every gill we can spare. I've heard rumors that one of the vineyards tending the vineyards might have once owned a bottle. Perhaps you could start by speaking with them? Bots. Out of my way. What? Do I have Bacchus wine? I wish. Never had a chance to try it myself. Sorry, friend. But you're a few years too late. Bacchus wine. Don't remind me, used to have a cellar filled with stuff. Thought I could keep the wine safe from thieves and the elements. Never count on a bloody primer blowing up my goddamn house. No luck, most regrettably, but we had to try. But Bacchus wine would have been perfect for the occasion. Though I must confess my certitude could be due in part to my personal history with the beverage. It is, after all, the very reason I decided to become a vintner. After Titan blinded me in our battle beneath Ogomoro, I fell into a deep depression. It wasn't until I tasted Bacchus wine for the first time that I realized there was still so much I could experience, even in my condition. It helped me to find a new direction in life. It breaks my heart to think that wondrous ambrosia, which once filled me with hope, may be lost forever to us. I must say this talk of Bacchus wine has made me rather nostalgic. Indeed, there's much I miss about my life with a company of heroes. After everything the captain has done for me, I could not bear to disappoint him. I have no fear. I swear I shall find a suitable wine for the banquet, but I might need some time to think of a solution. In the meantime, there's a favor I would ask of you. 2 years ago, in the deepest depths of my despair, I stumbled across Wilbrand as a vagabond drunk. I suspect I was looking for a place to die because I very nearly found one, not far from here. It was there that a man named Drest took me in and nursed me back to health. And it was he who gave me my first taste of Bacchus wine, which helped me to find my new calling. Though I'm still a novice in the arts of winemaking, I would like him to know that I'm pursuing my dream. This wine is my own original creation, and I would be most grateful if you could deliver it to him in my stead. Drest sometimes works at the Raincatcher's Gully Docks, so perhaps Witzgild can tell you where to find him. I remember this was earlier a pretty annoying question regarding the wine, because it was rather long and a lot of walking back and forth. Dressed? Oh, you mean the hermit? I toss him a few gill when we need an extra pair of hands. He doesn't talk about himself, and I sure as hell don't ask. When a man got a face with scars like that, you best leave well enough alone, I say. If you have a mind to find him, though, then head southwest to the severed string. What do you want? Some wine from Shamani Lomani. Wine? I didn't ask for this. Who sent you? Are you alright? Can't sleep. They won't let me sleep. The midges, the buzzing, it keeps me awake. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I won't fight. I don't want to fight. Please, make the buzzing stop. Make the midges go away. Box. Yeah, hunt some midges. Not so loud anymore. Did you do that? Thank you. You helped me, even after what my comrades and I did to your country. We were on a reconnaissance mission when we maelstrom caught us by surprise. We tried to escape, but the others... no one else survived. I didn't ask for this, damn it. I'm not even Gallian. They conquered my land just as they tried to conquer yours. I don't want to die in some blasted jungle halfway across the world. I just want to go home. Former Gallian's conscript. I wish to thank Shamani for the wine, but it was overly kind. Would you be willing to bear a gift back to him? Earlier today at Red Mantis Falls, I collected the sap of nearby palm trees. If placed in coconut shells and stored for a few bells' time, it makes for fine wine, see? It should be ready by now. I left 3 shells out there. Please take them to Shamani for me. I'm glad he moved on with his life. I hope to one day do the same. Arbitrary map border. Okay, we collected the palm wine. Been some time with it. What news do you have of Dresd? Sap of a palm tree fermented inside an island coconut shell. Far more potent than wine made from grapes, palm wine, if brewed for too long, can cause loss of eyesight or even death. Ah yes, I recall he did have some knowledge of winemaking. A simplistic but nevertheless effective method that utilizes the natural properties of plant sap. I shall have to enjoy this batch before it spoils. We are not so different, Dresd and I. 2 men who have long struggled not to let our scars define us. I worry that he has been alone with his thoughts for far too long. Past time I paid him a visit. Thank you for looking after him, Wild. Okay, in lore, we spent some time here now. Probably doing a level quest or 2. By the gods, Wild, listen. I know you're eager to wash your hands of this wine business, but I've just discovered something extraordinary about Dresd's palm wine. He sealed each coconut shell with a leaf which has a very distinct shape and unusual odor. I thought I was going mad at first, but now I'm certain these are the leaves of a Bacchus grape wine. Do you know what this means? Somewhere in Raincatcher Gully, the legendary wine still grows. If we could obtain a cutting, we could revive the Bacchus wine industry. We must know where Dresd found these leaves. Here, take one of them back to him and see what he remembers. And back to Dresd. Okay, Dresd, I'm back. Oh, hello again. What is it? Do you know where you found these? It's just a leaf, isn't it? I only chose it because it was pretty. Didn't know it was rare. Found them near the Juggernaut to the south. But I didn't see any grapevines. I saw fresh gobble tracks though. Maybe the leaves came from the vines growing on the back of one such beast? If you go looking for it, please be careful. Some gobblers are more territorial than others, and you may have to defend yourself. The Juggernaut is this crashed Garlean airship here. Chesmu. Teleport back. Shamani? Took a moment to load in. What did Drest have to say, Red? Tell me everything. Yeah, found this on the back of a gobble. Is that the right one? Aha, I was right. The smell, this texture. I hold in my hands a Bacchus grape wine cutting. Come now, enough of this nonsense. I've heard talk of your discovery, and I refuse to believe that a common adventurer and a novice vintner could... 12 is my witness. It is the Bacchus grapevine. Wherever did you find this fantastic specimen? Here you go. You would offer this to me? But why? There's none better positioned to construct the Bacchus vineyards than you, Master Byagland. You have the resources, the knowledge, and the passion to do so. It would be selfish of me to keep this cutting. I never knew you cared so deeply about your craft. Thank you, good sir. I will not squander this gift. In just a few years' time, I swear that every tavern across Eorzea will once again be clamoring for a cask of Wineport's legendary Bacchus wine. So you need... Wait, the shape of this bottle? The scent of a label? This couldn't possibly... A 1547 Bacchus? But that's impossible. This vintage has not been seen since years before the calamity. It was a crown jewel of my personal collection. For years I debated opening it, wondering if today or tomorrow would be the ideal time. But now I realize that it was never meant for me. It should be savored by the saviors of Wineport, I say. He's made us an offer we cannot refuse. Master Gagaruja will find no finer wine. You have forever changed, Wineport Wild. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. But do not permit me to delay you any longer. Pray, deliver this wine to Captain Whiskerhead. Well, yes, I would very much like to drink it, but I'm a patient man. I have faith that one day I shall have another opportunity to taste perfection. Okay. Finally. Greetings. I thought it fitting that I seek you out and offer my gratitude for all you've accomplished. Have you done anything, Ishtola? You wanted to do something, that's why you didn't help me, right? But we never learn what it is she needed to do. Your prolonged absence was beginning to concern me, so what of a wine I asked you to bring? Here. A very good one. Is that 7 hells of 1547 Bacchus? Even I know how rare that is. I have to admit I didn't think you had it in you, but congratulations, Red. Thanks to you, this will be the most luxurious feast Costa Del Sol has seen in years. Considering the lengths we went to, I hope our guests appreciate it. Speaking of which, your associate arrived a short while ago. She appears to be growing somewhat impatient. Perhaps you could tell her that the banquet is about to begin? And we get the Gabu Sproutling minion of his present. Yeah, I end the episode here. And next time we witness that banquet, probably, and hopefully also see Titan finally. It was a very long journey to that, or still is rather. Until next time then, I am Ace and don't get lost.